Someone else on today's show got a good win earlier tonight was Campbell Hatton. His dad goes in with someone you know well, Marco Antonio Barrera, next week. What do you make of exhibition fights in general?
I mean, I think it's good when there's two fighters who have fought before and know the sport, how serious it is. I think then it's okay. When there's YouTubers going in the ring, I think it could be very dangerous because you always are one punch away from getting hurt. And not only that, but I mean, these guys are not really trained fighters. They're just YouTubers and they're putting gloves on and they can really badly get hurt. But when it's two professional fighters who have been in the ring before, not much difference in how old they are. They've had a very similar career. A lot of fights and very experienced. So yeah, I think it would be a good fight to see because it's a fight that we would never have seen in their prime, but at least we get to see it now that they're both retired.
Now you mentioned Tyson Fury earlier. He goes in with Dereck Chisora for a third time next month. What do you make of that? Is it a fight that...
I think it's a brilliant fight because it gives Chisora another payday. I mean, look, end of the day, we all prize fighters, and I think that Chisora deserves it for sure. He always has entertained us, give us the best fights, give us big fights, and I think at this stage of his career, I think if he can make a couple of more quid, why not? I mean, Fury needed an opponent, and he's got one. I mean, Dereck Chisora stood on the plate and said, "Look, I'll take the fight." So yeah, credit goes to both fighters because you have to look at it in Fury's eyes. There's a lot for him to lose in this fight. God forbid one lucky punch. There's a lot to lose for Fury than to gain. So it will be a hard fight for him as well. But for Chisora, he can get hurt badly. He's been beaten twice before by the same person. But at the same time, he'll make a good paycheck from it. So look, I wish them both the best, man. I mean, end of the day, boxing's a sport. It's about what you walk out the sport with. And I think it's a perfect fight for him.
Now, I'm not going to be the first person today to ask you about Terence Crawford. I'm probably not even the third or fourth, but it is big news at the moment that he's not fighting Errol Spence for yet another year. He's going in with David Avanesian. Both sides seem to be blaming each other for this mega fight not happening. What's your take on it?
My take on that is I just think that, when I was in camp with Crawford, he really thought that fight was going to happen. He was like really positive, like, look, I'm 100% sure it's going to happen this time. He really wanted that fight as well, but it seems to me that it's probably Team Spence that probably doesn't want it because I know how eager Crawford was wanting that fight. So let's see if they can do after this Avanesian fight. I mean, look, Avanesian is another tough, rugged opponent. I don't class him as an A-class fighter. Maybe I class him in a B or C-class fighter, but it's still a good name for Crawford just to get a few rounds under his belt, getting back active again. Whereas with Spence, I think Spence would have been a tougher fight. And I always say, maybe it's worked out probably better for Crawford that he gets to have this tune-up fight. Or can't call any fight tune-up, but he has to have this fight against Abyssinian. He wins this fight, then goes straight into a fight with Spence. I think that probably gives him a little bit more help and gets him more active in the ring. Just takes that ring rust away from Terence. But in my opinion, I got Terence winning that fight, outboxing Spence, make him. I think we'll see probably a very good Terence Crawford in that fight because we'll see the best of Terence in that fight, especially with someone like Spence who takes a good shot and also gives a big shot back as well. So it'll be good because there'll be some heated exchanges in that fight. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Why do you think Team Spence apparently don't want the fight in that case? Do you think they believe as you do that Crawford would be a winner, or is it more the business problems?
I think it could be the business problems. It could be the business because at the end of the day, both fighters, I don't think they're scared of each other. I think they both want the fight. But I just feel that, sometimes egos, who's the bigger fighter, who the promoters have their egos as well. So sometimes managers have their egos as well. So really think about it. You don't know who it is. Is it the manager, is it the promoter, or is it the fighter? You know what I mean? Both fighters seem to want it. So it has to be someone else.
You've worked with HAYMON. What's he like?
Al's the easiest guy to work with. Honestly, I'm telling you, Al is a really easy guy to work with. I worked with Al for a very long time. Al is the nicest guy in boxing when I work with him. Whatever I wanted to do, he allowed me to do it. He never questioned me one bit. If I said, in a way, it was like I was my own boss, but having Al on my side as backup. That's what it was. I was making all the decisions. I would fight Canelo. I went and fought Canelo. He didn't once refuse, even though I was under contract with him. He let me do what I wanted. He was cool about it. if I won or if I lost a fight, I come back and he'll get me a tune-up fight straight away. So yeah, one thing about Al-Haymon, I think he's a very genuine guy and he wants to help boxers.
And just before I let you go, what's next for you? Obviously, you're not making a comeback or anything, but what are you going to do in boxing in your current position, like with the WBC and so on?
I'm making a massive announcement, very big something over here. So it's going to be a big one. It's probably bigger than the WBC announcement. I'm not doing much. I can't make it now. No, I get in trouble. I want to make sure the signed copies are done. Once it's signed off properly, then I know I'm allowed to say. I might have been gone. I might have gone back. I might have been and gone. That might have been done. It's filmed. You don't know. But I mean, look, the lots happened. Since the last fight, so much has happened in my life. There'll be few. There's a few things that have happened but all for the best. Yeah. So you'll see. It's all gonna be good fun. Honestly, like I said. I like to live on the edge every time, so there's a few edgy things that are going to be happening in the next couple of months. Intriguing things, but overall they're all good things as well.
Great stuff, Amir. Always a pleasure, mate. Thank you.